In the 18th century, an Irish-French banker named Richard Cantillon made a discovery that explains why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. He noticed that when new money enters the economy, it doesn't spread evenly. It flows like water. It enters at a specific point and it reaches different people at different times. This observation became known as the Cantillon effect, and it is the most important economic concept that nobody talks about. It explains why inflation is not just a general rise in prices, it is a wealth transfer mechanism. It explains why the stock market can be at an all-time high while the average worker is struggling to buy groceries. Here is how it works. Imagine the government prints $1 trillion. They don't drop it from helicopters so that everyone gets a check at the same time. If they did, prices would rise instantly and nobody would be richer or poorer. It would just be a change in the numbers. But that is not what happens. The money enters the system through specific injection points, usually the central bank and the big commercial banks. The banks get the money first. They get it at near zero interest rates. They use this cheap money to lend to corporations, hedge funds, and wealthy investors. These people, the Cantillon insiders, get to use the new money before prices have gone up. They use it to buy assets. They buy stocks. They buy real estate. They buy gold. Because they are buying with fresh cash, the prices of these assets go up. Their net worth explodes. They feel rich. They spend money on luxury goods and services. Eventually, the money trickles down. The corporation hires a contractor. The contractor buys a truck. The truck driver buys lunch. Step by step, the money moves through the economy. But at every step, prices are rising. By the time the money reaches the average worker, in the form of a slight wage increase, the prices of housing, food, and gas have already skyrocketed. The worker gets the money last. They are the Cantillon outsiders. They are buying at the new inflated prices, but their wages haven't caught up yet. Their purchasing power has been stolen. This is why inflation is often called a hidden tax. It taxes the people who hold cash and wages, and it subsidizes the people who hold assets and debt. If you are close to the money printer, you win. If you are far from the money printer, you lose. This explains the massive disconnect we see in the modern economy. We see the stock market hitting record highs while food banks are overwhelmed. This isn't a glitch. It is the Cantillon effect in action. The asset owners are riding the wave of new money. The wage earners are drowning in the rising tide of prices. So, what can you do about it? You can't stop the money printer. You can't change the banking system, but can change your position in the flow. You have to move closer to the money. You have to stop being a wage earner and start being an asset owner. Here is the 3-step protocol to protect yourself from the Cantillon effect. Step 1. Own inflation hedge assets. Cash is trash. In a Cantillon system, cash is the victim. It is the thing being devalued. You must convert your cash into assets that rise with the money supply. Stocks, real estate, Bitcoin, gold, commodities. These are hard assets. They are scarce. You can't print more land. You can't print more gold. When the money supply expands, the price of these assets rises to reflect the new reality. If you own them, the inflation lifts you up. If you don't, it crushes you. Your goal should be to hold as little cash as possible, just enough for an emergency fund, and keep the rest of your wealth in assets. Step 2. Use good debt. The Cantillon insiders use debt to get rich. They borrow cheap money to buy appreciating assets. Inflation is the debtor's best friend. If you borrow $100,000 to buy a house and inflation is 10%, the real value of your debt goes down by 10% every year. You are paying back the loan with cheaper, less valuable dollars. Meanwhile, the house price is rising with inflation. You are winning on both sides. This is risky, and you must be careful. But understanding that debt gets inflated away is a key strategy of the wealthy. The poor use debt to buy liabilities, TVs, cars, The rich use debt to buy assets, houses, businesses. Step 3. Increase your velocity. The Cantillon effect punishes those who wait. If you wait to invest, the prices run away from you. You need to increase the velocity of your money. When you get paid, don't let the money sit in a checking account for months. Deploy it. Invest it. Get it out of the cash bucket and into the asset bucket as fast as possible. Automate your investing so that you are constantly buying assets, regardless of what the market is doing. You are building a raft to float on the flood of liquidity. The Cantillon effect is unfair. It is a structural inequality built into the fiat money system. But complaining about it won't save you. Understanding it will. You have to realize that the game is rigged against savers. The game is rigged against people who keep their wealth in the currency. The game is designed to reward owners. So, become an owner. Stop working for money and start acquiring the things that money is chasing. Move yourself upstream. Get out of the splash zone and get into the boat.